Kill Complacency, a podcast that inspires growth and intentionality and helps you overcome your greatest obstacles.
So, Kerri, tell me, what is like a daily routine for you? Maybe I should say this. What is something that your future self is going to think for?
Goodness. Yeah, as far as daily routine,
Yeah.
I'm all over the place. Like some days I can get stuff
Well,
done.
we saw your planner.
I do love my planner, my paper planner, but just like we were talking about doing things on the fly, whether it's signing up for something or on vacation or whatever, that's how my workouts are too. Like sometimes it's 9:00 at night and sometimes it's 9:00 in the morning. Sometimes it's right in the middle of the day, like in the hottest part. And yeah, things have to be flexible if we're going to get school done or eat a meal. I look at it and I'm like, I'm consistent. I've done this every day for a week, but also look how inconsistent I am because like this is a recipe most people would call a disaster because it's not always first thing in the morning, or it's not right when my husband comes home from work or whatever. You're setting yourself up that you're going to run out of time in the day. And that's true. Like I'm not arguing with it, but there's some other little factor that says it's just a non-negotiable. I know that it's going to happen. But this morning I did say, I've got to get it done with busy afternoon and evening. So anyway, my future self, I had kids later in life, like in my 30s, almost 40 by the time I had my last one. Just being strong to be like an active parent. And when I say active, not every time, but if we go to the pool, I'm jumping off or I'm going down the slide, or maybe I'm using that time to get my exercise in. I don't know what I'm doing. What can I do in the pool while I'm sitting here that can benefit my running? I don't have the answers, but I met a man yesterday who's a track coach. I was like, what can I do out here? He was all too eager to give me 10 exercises to do, which is so much more valuable than me trying to read it. And I got some email from 6 Minute Mile or something. They sent some good content. And one of them last summer was like pool exercises. Guess how many of those I've ever figured out? I keep losing the article and all of these things, and I've never gotten around to it. Even though in the back of my head, I'm like, I need to look that up somewhere. And yesterday I just asked him and it stuck in my brain better. So anyway, I want to be engaged. I don't want to be the parent that's sitting over there suffering in the sun, watching can we go home yet? So I want to experience those things with them and be healthy enough to do that and to keep going as they get older. Like they're just going to get more active, I think, as they come into their teenage years. And then eventually one day I'll be a grandparent, potentially. And I want to be able to be, again, active. I don't want to have to sit indoors. And I don't know. I just don't want to have to be
That's something I said when
limited.
I first started running was I want to be healthy enough that I can run with my grandkids. And that also means I don't go too extreme now. Get a break.
Right. Yeah.
So it's finding that moderation.
Yeah. And I like keeping it fresh. Somebody sent me an Instagram with Tai Chi, and I ended up using it as my warm up to run, and I just had an amazing time. So have I ever done that before? Not really. And then the pool, that's totally new, but I'll try it. I don't feel like a lot of the ultra people are like, I'm 0 or I'm 100. Like, I'm all in. And I feel like it's so funny because you're interviewing today, and I'm like 50, 75, 80. That's how I feel so mediocre, but it's such a joyful mediocre that, and again, like with running, I never felt good at it. And I never wanted to do something that I was terrible at. But like my newfound joy means I'll try anything. And I don't care if I look stupid, because it may, like in 2 weeks from now, I may look like a master Tai Chi person or something. Like just in the 3 days I did it, I can already tell my form and my balance is like coming together. So I'm excited, just whatever it is, just give it a try. It works.
But I think that was one reason we wanted to have you on here, is because you're not afraid to try new things. You're going to jump in things that most people get stuck in right now. But you're willing to do that. From what I've seen, you're willing to do that. It's going to be the worst day ever.
Yeah.
For you, it's the best day ever because different.
Yeah.
Get back around. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever it is. Quit letting that person talk you out of who you're becoming. It really spoke to me back a year ago. I used to say I'm not a runner, and it's still hard for me. It's still hard, but I can say it confidently. Yeah, I'm a trail runner, an ultra marathoner. That's weird, but it's a truth. Like I know it's true, but it's still bizarre to believe. Because mostly I'm just like, I'm a mom of 3. That's my biggest thing.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things about running that I love so much. Is it compounds itself so quickly. You can really do so much more. Because like you said early on, you'd always done the case. And now
suffered through. I just did it. I did the best I could, but I didn't take the time to train with anything. And honestly, that's how my ultras have been too. I didn't follow a plan. Surprise. I made a goal before Pizza Creek, which was mid-September. I made a goal in August to get 100 miles in August. Because I think I talked to Isaac and he's like, you just want time on your feet. And I'm like, yeah, I don't need speed. I need to finish it. So the goal was to get 100 miles in the month of August total. And I don't think I started it until August 4th and I hit 80 something. So I didn't accomplish the goal, but it still met the training need. And when my friend and Elizabeth and I finished Pizza Creek, we had 30 seconds before cutoff time. Really? So it was a thrilling experience. Like it was hard. I don't know that I would do it again, but given it all we had those last 5 miles, knowing we had to keep this certain pace, and we've been sweating out there all day, and we were blistered and like chafed. Like I don't even think we had body glide at the time. Like we didn't know. We were just new. But to come into the finish line and have people be like, "You've got 1 minute," and we're just giving it all we got. That was such a thrilling experience. And there was nobody at the finish line. It wasn't exciting for anyone else, but we were on top of the world. But also just the mental capability, like knowing my girlfriend leads the rim at Grand Canyon every year. She takes a group out. And
what's her
Mary. She's out in Weatherford or Clinton.
name? But too.
Yeah, so they're going, and in my mind, I'm just like, can I do that? But also, when I went to the Grand Canyon and stood there and looked at it and thought, could I? Oh my gosh, just being in awe of the thing before me and realizing that people set out and do this. They do this in a day's time.
What's hard about the canyon, do not know how you train for this, is the first 4 miles are straight downhill. Usually you train going uphill. I suppose you could. I don't know how you train for that.
To go downhill like that.
Honestly, that was the hardest part when we hiked it, was no break. We were just walking, but just the pounding because you're going down.
Yeah, I feel like I've heard people say that.
Like it was much easier for me to climb out. Yeah, because I was stepping instead of going.
That's funny. At Pizza Creek, I was having trouble on the climb, but on the downhill, which was huge loose gravel, I was just skating down it. Like I was letting the speed go, which was scary, but it felt better. Elizabeth's blisters were more on the ball of her. She was struggling with the downhill, but on the uphill, she was killing me. So we were working that way, but I don't know, to look at the Grand Canyon and think, wow, but also to think, my friends are going in 2 months. I could train. I could do this. Where a year and a half ago, I wouldn't have. No, people probably trained for 6 months to do that.
Talk to me a little bit about the connection, massage therapy, regarding how do you think it applies, not just to muscles, but do you think it affects all oneself?
Yes. How I said earlier, where I think people feel more embodied, more wholly connected. I'm not just what I do for work all day. That's one aspect, because of course that's your brain feeling, oh man, fully and present. But also think about your nervous system and being able to rest long enough to go into that parasympathetic state of relaxation. Because when else experience that? Like it's a deep relaxation.
Is it like more than sleep?
I don't know if it's more like scientifically speaking, but I'd say it's comparative in feeling repaired and feeling renewed. Sadly, it doesn't last forever. The downside, I feel great for a few days, but bendy to feel like, oh, I can't do that every week. But one thing I will say is during massage school, when you are getting regular body work, you start to feel so much more in tune with your body. So when things start getting tweaked, I feel like you're tuned in earlier.
I feel like running did that for me too.
Really?
At least when I was running real heavy,
Uh-huh.
I was so into my body. Real.
Yep.
Have you ever heard the name Ian Trayson was a beast in the 90s for ultra running kinds of records? Probably still have. But she talked a lot about that. Yeah, I remember her line, but like it's like this slow dance, a long run, slow dance with your body. They run the partner. Just working together.
Yeah. I think that feels good too. I wouldn't say.
Do you have any stories of somebody that just their life changed because they got a massage? Totally just was what they needed.
I enjoy giving people their first massage because I feel like I take the time to say, you're the one in charge. And I feel like sometimes if you go to maybe a chain, it's just expected. I know what to do.
So I have a role to play in that too.
Yeah. And that's what I like about being a first experience is to say, this is your time you're paying for. So if you don't like the music, it's yours. If you don't like the table heat, it's yours. If you don't want your face touched, that's up to you. Maybe your feet are ticklish. Like you could discuss all of that and just set the expectation for what's going to come. Pressure, the big thing. It's pretty typical if the therapist checks in with you like they should to say, how's the pressure? Is that okay? And most people are going to say, yeah, fine. And instead of giving a question that encourages, yeah, good, to change your wording and say, are you craving more pressure here? Or do you think you would like less? What does your body
Because
feel
I'm
like
totally
right now?
going to be like, it's fine.
Yes, me too. And sometimes we might think that we want deep pressure,
Well,
but
I'm
really
really
the
honest
lighter
with you.
is feeling perfect. So it's just funny that you might think you want one thing and then you get on the table and you're like, oh, this actually feels very pleasant. Yeah, I've had an older gentleman come and we ended up playing classic country and he just thought it was so cool. And he told a friend of his, she became a regular. She every 2 weeks to see for 90 minutes every time. So that feels like a compliment to have someone come back and see you that regularly. But it was all because he was so impressed. Like he got to pick the music and we bonded over that.
You customized it.
But that's what I try to tell people. Like it's not my hour, it's your hour.
Yeah. Okay. Tell me this. If you could go back and speak to your younger self, what advice would you give it?
So I haven't seen the new Twister. Have you seen it? Okay.
Granted.
Okay. This is what's funny. I don't know what context this quote is from.
Okay.
But if you feel it, chase it. Okay. So I've got to watch the movie. But what happened was, as I was training, I was out at the park and I came upon some storm chasing truck and they had this bumper sticker that said, if you feel it, chase it. And I took a picture and I put it as my Facebook cover photo and people were like cracking up because it's a movie reference. But at the time I didn't know that. I just thought it spoke to my soul in the moment. But I don't even know because I still haven't seen the movie. But I just think that summed up everything I was feeling in that season.
Depends how you live your life.
Saying,
though.
yeah, it is now. Oh, I don't think I always had the freedom to do that.
Okay. And
And
that's advice you would give.
if you feel it, chase it. Go for it. If you don't, like running 100-miler is not on my plate. Like that's not in my vision right now. It's not. I think about it, but I don't feel like it's the time. Then I'm not going to say yes to that right now. But signing up for that 100K last minute, even though I knew it was last minute, it doesn't make any sense to anyone. I felt like I want that. So go for it. Don't let those barriers. Well, other people train for this many months, or other people would have signed up 3 months ago during early bird registration. Don't let all of those little things dictate whatever is inside of you that's saying go. I just felt like that summed it up so well. If you feel it, chase it.
Yeah. My next question. What's a favorite quote or book? Where you were helping? Sure.
Let's see. Right now I'm reading in an audio form. My camera.
Good. Nice.
Yeah. I've been listening to that on my, oh my gosh.
Or in our
Like 5 chapters or something.
I cried during that.
Really?
There's a story. It's a guy.
Like he
Later-
just put his books out.
Later
Okay.
in the book, I was running track repeat on the track,
Uh-huh.
and this,
This happened in a moment.
and you're gonna, it'll be emotional for you because you have kids.
Yeah.
It's a story about him, the Boston Marathon, Armstrong.
Okay.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
But
That's so good.
I'm like, run.
Yes. I'm reading that one right now. I don't know if I have a top favorite, but I have noticed that I really like to read audiobooks while I'm on the trail. If I'm with people, I'm 100% there with, but if I get off by myself, I'm going to turn on an audiobook probably. And during Pumpkin Holler's 50K, I'm blank on the title of the book. It's about Louis Zamborini, and he was an Olympic runner
It was good.
in the 30s. He competed in Berlin, met Hitler. This was before, and then whatever, the 1942 Olympics didn't happen because the war had broke out. And he ended up joining the military. Then he got out for some reason. He joined voluntarily, and then something happened and he got out, and then he was drafted anyway. And he became a POW for a year, like 2.5 years. Awful condition. And so what I've realized is I like reading about, I've always liked
I think I've seen that.
history. Yeah, I think, yeah, you
There's-
probably
Broken.
Unbroken. So glad you knew it. That was going to kill me.
Unbroken, and then there's that follow up to that.
Okay.
It's about the full circle about how he came back to the States in mass.
That's included in Unbroken.
Okay.
Or maybe it's like an,
Okay. In the movie, there's movie one, and there's
okay,
the other part.
Yeah.
But he's in mass. I think Billy Graham.
something like that. And then he starts helping men, winter
Yes.
camps, or
Yes.
sort of an outdoor experience. So I was listening to that at Pumpkin Holler. I had just finished it. And then I ended up finishing my 50K with a young man, younger than me, and then a nice woman who's older than me. We finished the last several miles together, and they were both going longer distances. And they pushed me harder than I would have been pushing myself because my feet were like blisters were popping. But she and I connected over that book because I told her how I'd been telling him I was reading this book, and she was like, "That's my favorite book." And so I had realized that I know I like documentaries and I like learning about history, but to be out on the trails
I love.
and be listening, like experiences, like
Little-
I'm out here doing this because I want to. Like, I think this is hard. This is a joke. I paid money to be out here.
I chose this.
Yes. So I feel like it's perspective or something. But as far as favorite books, I don't know if top, but Unbroken would be. It's definitely a memorable experience to read that while I was doing a little bit of stuff, right? On my own teeny bit. Like eating aid station food, and making new friends. It's hard.
All right. Final question.
Mhm.
If this is your final message, what do you want to convey to the world? That's a big one.
Yeah.
What does Kerri want the world to know?
I don't have a catchy quote. It's just, you'll never know your limit if you don't. It's so cliche to say. I feel like how I feel, you'll never know the barriers that you can break if you don't take a chance on yourself. Financing, self-publishing his first book, and he had to borrow 50 grand. So, yeah, 15 of it came from her. This is where I'm at in the book. That's why I know all the details. But that's what his message was, is to take a risk on yourself. And I think I told you maybe in years past, I wouldn't have been financially free enough to be really go spend a couple $100 on this weekend, go run in the pasture somewhere. But since I picked up massage, I just have this play money over here, and it's allowed my brain to say, yeah, say yes. If you feel that, go for it. Many years of budgeting every dollar, and I still do, but it's just, I have this other little tank, this little pocket that allows me to say yes. And in that way, that's where I feel that freedom. I'm not taking away from my kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, in years past, the door wasn't open.
Sure.
And now that it is,
But
it
I
is
think to
much
some
easier
extent
to
it
say.
always is. Money is definitely a barrier.
But I felt the freedom to.
We can do so much more, but we limit ourselves because of our mindset on our barriers. I'm not a runner.
Yeah.
I said, I wish Ginger was here to tell you.
Like how true that
Marty
is.
always said, you're right.
I know
I
my
love it.
husband could tell you the same thing.
How do people find you, follow you, get a
Okay.
massage from you?
So I'm in Yukon, and really the best way is just to contact me because I don't really have online hours because I keep a limited volume because I do have to balance the home and the kid. But yeah, they can just reach out on Facebook. My new massage name is Big Medicine.
Big medicine.
This goes back to history. I watched a bison documentary. I don't know if it was like, it may have been. Ken Burns documentaries are my favorite. Like he's done Vietnam and Civil War, Death Bowl. But I think there's one on bison. I could be wrong, but I caught a piece that was talking about the rare white buffalo. The Native Americans think that medicine. I stuck with me because I knew I needed to switch gears with Navy, brand new, fresh out.
Big man.
Because we don't think of body work as medicine. It
It
really
is.
is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I got a question. So I've had fasciitis.
Uh-huh.
Would massage help that or not?
It could.
Because it's a muscle, right?
I think it's a muscle, but there's tendons and ligaments that are
The muscle
Also
to
tissue.
here, right? That's too tight. Yeah.
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 in here.
What
But
happens?
sometimes it can be your calf that is
What my understanding is, this is tight,
okay.
and so it pulls from here. It pulls from here, but it has to do with this being too tight.
Okay. Phil had it in hand where like the orthopedic and birth for a while, like for 2 years before he took him out. Like it was a while.
I've done several things because I want to get back to running. I've worn this stupid stick at night,
Yeah. Oh, and that holds your foot.
like
Oh,
this.
Yeah.
It's annoying. Every morning, though, I roll my foot with a frozen ball,
Yeah.
just the ball.
Yeah.
I have my shoes.
How do your calves?
Calves are fine. Nothing hurts. And it's, you notice,
I'm just looking up the chain,
I know, and that's the problem.
like the posterior chain. Okay.
That's the problem. It's somewhere else, right?
Mhm.
Somewhere else.
And I've never done dry needling. Jennifer Dollarhide, she's having some issues right here, like in the bottom of her calf, her Achilles, like she's got some sort of lump. And she said dry needling, like it's immediately affected when she leaves the office. She feels, and when she gets out of bed, she does not hobble.
Just wanted to thank you guys for listening to the end. In closing, I just wanted to add that if this message resonates with you, if it aligns with your values, and something in it today triggered something, then you can also look me up on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube. We are really trying to help people live more intentional lives to kill the complacency with which they have subscribed to. I know there's many ways in which I get sucked in all the time. So if this is beneficial, follow me there.